The
One
Arch
more.
Manning sweepstakes. So guys, Arch Manning, he's at UT. You know what I mean? We just heard that
It's much
like
better than being at a UTI. I'm telling you.
that's true. But
More cranberry
we just
juice.
saw this big thing splash in the news about like how his grandpa was like, "Oh, he's gonna stay there," and blah blah blah. And then Arch was like, "I don't," and then Arch was like, "I don't know where he heard that from. He didn't hear it from me." You know what I mean? So he could potentially still come out next year. What teams are going to be in the sweepstakes? Like, what team is going to be there to take him? You know, number one, number two, whatever it is. Because you could be number two and trade up to number one to get him, right? If you want him that bad. Who's going
Right.
to be there? Who is going to take Arch Manning
Right.
next year in the NFL draft? Where is it? In Washington, D.C.? Is that where the NFL draft is
I think
next
so.
year?
But hype, it's almost more who's going to pick a quarterback in the first round. Because let's say Manning isn't there, right? It could be Sellers, it could be Nussmeier, it could be Klubnik. So we just call it the Arch Manning sweepstakes because, if he's there, we feel like he's going to go one. But what we did is we picked three teams, each of us, three different teams, each of us, that we think are picking a quarterback in the first round next year. Okay. And we have to defend our choices. So I went last time. I'm going to go first this time, but I'm going to do one team. And then maybe we take turns doing a team, right? Instead of doing all three at once, right? So I'm going to pick one team. And it's going to surprise you guys right off the bat. A team that's picking a first-round quarterback, take that pen, is going to be Jared Jones and the Dallas Cowboys are picking a first-round quarterback next year. Why? Because they're going to win 6 or 7 games, maybe 8. They're going to be picking in the middle, and somebody like Nussmeier or somebody else might fall to them. Maybe Lenore Sellers, they trade up. And what are you thinking? They are paying Dak all that money. Well, this is exactly why they're taking a quarterback now. Dak's got 2 years after this year left on his contract. And if they cut him after the third year, it's about a $40-ish million dead cap hit. They want a guy that they can develop under Dak now because I can pretty much guarantee you Dak is not going to get another contract from the Cowboys. I think that ship has sailed. He got his money. He's good. But the Cowboys are going to do what they've done historically. They paid Drew Bledsoe. He didn't do too well, got hurt. Tony Romo comes in and takes his job. They pay Tony Romo. He did okay. Had some bad playoff performances. I love you, Tony. But Dak came in and took his job. They're paying Dak. They're going to draft another quarterback this year in the draft. He's going to sit for a year. Dak's going to get down. That guy's going to come in and take his job. That's how the Cowboys do business. It keeps them in the papers. It keeps them relevant. That's what Jared cares about. So I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys to pick a first-round quarterback in the 2026 NFL draft. All right. Hype, who do you got?
Okay, so I have a team that's a super shocker. It is the Browns. Okay,
Shocking.
it's shocking.
What?
Yeah, we use that thing a lot. Okay, so they once again tried to go and draft some quarterbacks this year, and I mean I'm personally just not really like impressed by anybody they got. I mean, literally my Bling Dynasty fantasy team here, I freaking drafted like Dylan Gabriel for some reason, and I got Joe Flacco on the team at the same time. So I know the Browns pretty well. I've been watching. Shador Sanders took, I think his net yardage in the last preseason game was like minus 35 yards or something when you include all of his sacks. It's not going so well. He's not processing quite yet. I think they're going to go and try to get like a legit top 3-ish quarterback. You know what I mean? That would be picked like at the top of the draft. They don't have anybody that. Flacco, literally when he comes into the game in preseason, you go like, whoa, he looks like an NFL quarterback. That's weird. Like no one else on the team does, right? And he just starts throwing touchdowns in these preseason games, and he just looks great. And you're like, how is this super old man coming in and just looking like levels above everyone else, right? So, and he's not going to be able to do that forever. Obviously, they need to draft a legit, like, Pro Bowl level quarterback, a potential Super Bowl quarterback. Arch Manning is going to be that guy, likely. Like, if you talk about Mannings, what do they have? Cerebralism, the field general, able to process things quickly. What Shador Sanders does is if he doesn't have guys open right away, he scrambles around, and he's not even a scrambler, right? And then he doesn't throw the ball away. He doesn't find the next open receiver. He's got processing issues. Maybe that can improve. But we already see it in the preseason. He literally like just kept on getting sack over and over again. And that was supposed to be his time to shine and show everybody, hey, I belong here, right? So if I'm the Browns ownership, he's already said I didn't want Shedeur Sanders on my team. Like the owner literally said that. So they're probably the most completely likely team to draft Arch Manning next year.
Or any quarterback in the first round.
Or
really.
any quarterbaak that exists.
If Arch is there or not.
They have 2 probably top 15 first round draft picks.
Yeah.
So you can trade those up to get the number 1 overall.
And I don't think they're going to win a whole lot of games, even though I'm whacking for Flacco.
Honestly, if the Browns have a 1, 2, or 3 pick and I'm Arch Manning, I might just go back to college.
You might.
I don't think any quarterback that has that option in the right mind would go to Cleveland. I just don't think they would do it.
But just from the Browns' perspective, they would
like
to.
No, I get that. Well, all right then. I mean, what do you got, Chief? Anything crazy? Anything? What team are you saying is going to pick a quarterback next year?
Well, I've already sung the praises of a certain man down there in Arizona. Kyler Murray. Right now, I think this is his last year. Because right now they've given him an elite wide receiver. He has the tools.
He's bulked up. Said that about our fantasy quarterback.
Our backup, we got Dak to take us to the promised land.
I was talking crap about Dak a minute ago. I guess it's just the team.
Yeah. No, but with Trey McBride there, they've improved the offensive line. They have a running game there. Their defense has gotten better. So now I think they definitely have enough tools where it's just like, okay, you at least need to take us to the playoffs. If you can't lead us to the playoffs right now, then in 2026, if they trade him before June 1st, it's only a $34 million dead cap, which really isn't that bad. So that might be worth a second or a third round draft pick, honestly. If you can save $34 million, why not take a second? Because there might be enough quarterbacks out there that you can draft someone, maybe sign a free agent, whatnot. If you trade them after June 1st, then it's only a $27 million dead cap. You save $25 million for the year, and you take a $7 million hit in 27. So those are very, very livable numbers. When you have teams out there that are paying $50 million per starter, that's plenty of money that you can get a couple of rookies. Probably draft them quicker than the Browns did. But I think it's well worth them going into the first round. Even if you don't get the top 2 quarterbacks, you're still going to find some value there. It'll be a decent year for quarterbacks, and I think it's time to walk away from Kyler if he doesn't do it this year.
I understand that. I think I said that in when we did our season predictions. I was like, I don't think Kyler makes it out of the year because I think the Cardinals have a bad season, right? So I like that one, Dave. Definitely Arizona is a possibility people aren't thinking of yet. We'll see how the season goes on. All right, I'm going to go to another one that's a little more obvious, and that is the New Orleans Saints. So New Orleans took Tyler Shuck, who looks terrible. Surprise, surprise. I still don't understand why they took him. I just think it was a terrible idea. Spencer Rattler is going to get some time. Shuck's going to go back and forth, but they took both of these guys. I think Kellen Moore is a pretty good offensive coordinator. I don't know what he's like as a head coach, but I think the Saints are going to be so bad that if they do get the first overall pick, I think Arch is 100% coming out of college and going to play for the Saints, just like Grandpa, and try to save that franchise. And I think that would be the most awesome story. And I think it would be super cool, and everybody would be excited for the Saints because it would just be cool to see Arch play for the Saints. So I'm kind of hoping the Saints are awful, and I'm kind of hoping they get that number 1 pick and they get Arch. So that's what I'm predicting, that the Saints take a quarterback and that they take Arch Manning specifically, not the Cowboys, but I think the Saints will get him next year. So that's my other team. All right, Hype, who do you got next?
Oh, my next team is Indianapolis Colts.
Another Manning destination, right? What if the Colts pick number 1 and take Manning as well?
They've had some trouble with their quarterbacks getting injured. Their quarterback they got from Stanford. They've got some bad juju going around this team, but they need a quarterback badly. I mean, they're not the smartest. Anthony Richardson, I don't think anybody ever actually thought he was going to be a legit NFL quarterback. I don't know what their deal was with that. They even had a good offensive line. I don't know, this year probably a decent line too. They've got some weapons on the team, Tyler Warren and some receivers. They got Jonathan Taylor, who's pretty good, but their team's not very good. They're going to be picking probably in the top 10 for sure.
No, their team is good. Their quarterback sucks. Their
Yeah, I mean, on
quarterback's an
paper,
anchor.
individually, they have players that are okay, but they're not
Yeah.
winning games.
I would say their defense has a lot of holes still, and their offensive line is good, but they lost 2 starters. Their wide receivers are good, but when your quarterback stinks, how much does that matter? Right. And yeah, I think the Colts are going to be awful. I agree with Doug on this.
And so we have to see Tyler Warren play. We have to see, look at. I remember years back when the Eagles got like all these all-star players on their team like 10 years ago, and they ended up being terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just because on paper your team looks good individually doesn't mean you can win games. So
like the Bears.
That's that's the problem Indianapolis has. They're gonna and Daniel Jones is their quarterback, which is going to also hex them towards having a high draft pick. I mean, come on, it's Daniel Jones. Like he's just a guy that doesn't win football games. So that is my second choice.
Yeah, I think the Colts. Yeah, Colts is a good pull. All right, Dave, who else you got for picking a quarterback next year?
Oh, I love throwing Aaron Rodgers under the bus. Yeah, and at this point, most of Packer Nation has joined me as well. This year, you have a quarterback who audibles out of every single rush inside the 5-yard line to show how smart he is. You have an offensive coordinator who wants to do outside zone run. The problem is they tried that with Kirk Cousins with his bad Achilles last year, and they found out, oh, wait, he can't pivot from under center and he can't get the ball out there to the running back. So we'll just go to the shot or go to the, not the shotgun. What's the other one? The pistol formation.
Oh, pistol. Yeah.
So that way you can get it to Bijan out there. So they might have to do the same thing with Rodgers because he's going to be out there with the Walker. So their offense is going to be crap. He's going to relegate that run offense. So yeah, this will be your year that Tomlin finally has a losing season, and they have plenty of cap space. They'll be in the running to get a good quarterback because I think they'll finally be in the top 15 for the draft pick. So again, they don't need an elite quarterback. They just need a good quarterback that they can develop.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett, the year that they got him, it was a bad year for quarterbacks. This year is going to be a little bit better than that year. So I like the Steelers getting one this year.
Yeah, I think it's got to happen. Aaron Rodgers won a 1-year deal. Even if he comes back and signs another year, I think you have to take a quarterback no matter what. I think you just have to because, I don't know how much longer Aaron can do it. And there are already reports that he looks really slow in practice. I mean, yeah, dude, he's 41. Like, do you know why Tom Brady never looked slow when he was 45? Because he was slow at 25. Tom Brady was.
Oh, your mic cut out.
He is cussing up a storm. You're on mute.
Oops, sorry, I muted myself. But no,
that's normally what happens. So you'd start talking about Tom Brady and his bleep, bleep, bleep,
the
bleep,
universe
bleep, bleep.
turns me off. Yeah. No, so Tom Brady was slow at 25. So he was actually faster at 45. He clocked himself in a 40-yard dash. He got faster at 45, which was still about as fast as pushing a semi-truck uphill. But
the jiu-jitsu trainer kept him in elite shape.
But
like,
Rodgers,
you go do a couple more sprints and I'll be over here with your wife.
I was going to say, but Rodgers has gotten significantly slower since his prime, and it affects your play. It affects how you play the game. It didn't affect Tom Brady because he never had that as an asset. He had to use different ways to be successful. So Rodgers doesn't know, other than throw the ball quick right away and think he's smarter than you, how to succeed without his athleticism. And I think the Steelers are going to find out right away why the Jets didn't win any more games with Aaron Rodgers than they did with MILF Hunter himself. So, okay. Good one, Dave. Why can't I think of his name? The freaking kid from BYU. What's the kid's name? He's on like the Buccaneers now. What the heck was the quarterback's name for the Jets?
He's the Dolphins backup now.
Wheeler?
Dolphins. Zach Wilson.
Zach
Thank
Wilson.
you. Yeah, MILF Hunter. All right. So, good one, Dave. I like it. On to my final prediction for next year, a team that's going to take a quarterback in the first round, and that is the Los Angeles Rams. The news coming out on Stafford isn't good, and whether the Rams are good or not, I think a guy like Nussmeier or a guy like Klubnik, who maybe not go in the top 10, who maybe could go later in the first round, because I still think the Rams are going to be decent one way or the other. Stafford will play a couple games here and there. I don't think they're going to be picking top 5, but the Rams are young guys. Like a lot of their team is young. Most of the old guys on their team either retired, like Haverstein's not on the team anymore, right? Their running backs on his first contract. Puka's on his first contract, right? A lot of their best defensive players are younger. So it's time for them to get a young quarterback and like build that team together. And I think this is the year that they take a guy that's maybe not like an obvious choice, like they got Goff, but he didn't quite work out. They did make it to a Super Bowl, but I think a guy like Nussmeier or Klubnik would actually fit McVay's offense really well. And I can see those guys falling to like the teens somewhere or maybe later.
Nussmeier, the coach's kid?
Yeah.
McVay would go nuts with that. Having a smart quarterback. Oh, yeah.
Dude, and from LSU, I mean, in that system, yes, he's got studs all over, just like every Ohio State quarterback, who I told you not to take. But LSU quarterbacks have a better track record. Well, not when the Raiders take them. Raiders don't draft Nussmeier. Don't draft an LSU quarterback. But I definitely think McVay needs his guy. So even if Stafford plays next year and that guy sits or whatever, kind of like my Cowboys take, I think it's time for the Rams to get a guy because I think this draft class has enough, maybe not super top heavy guys, but it has enough guys who are just below kind of like elite. And that's all the Rams need, I think, to be successful. I think there's a good 3 or 4 quarterbacks that would work for them. So I definitely think the Rams take a QB in the draft this year.
Because they tried it a couple of years ago with Stetson Bennett, but that was just too low.
Yeah, but what was like the 3rd or 4th round?
Yeah, that was like the 4th round. So now I think McVay needs to go 1st or 2nd, even if it's a low 1st or 2nd.
And
they also have 2 first-round picks, right?
Yes, they have 2 first-round picks this year.
Courtesy of Atlanta, so they might be able to move up to get somebody a little bit better. So I like that pick.
Yeah, I definitely think it's the year.
They have a lot of young studs on there that can help you to get that quarterback.
The Rams in 2027 are really scary, is what I'm saying. Is like a lot of their talent is not even where they are going to be yet. Kind of like what I feel like everybody thought about the Packers last year, right? I think the Rams are that young and up and coming team, and it just so happens that their quarterback is really hurt, and he probably will retire after this year.
So you say they're like this team, or they're just a quarterback away, huh? They're young, they're talented everywhere except.
No, they already have a quarterback, which is why they should get one now, so they don't end up being the Steelers or the Bears forever. So yeah, all right, Hype. Who you got? Who's your next team?
My next team is the Jets. They've got Aaron Glenn for a coach, and when Aaron Glenn sat down with Aaron Rodgers, he Aaron Rodgers. He was more of an asshole and a dick to Aaron Rodgers than Aaron Rodgers was.
Yeah.
I think he has a high opinion of himself, and
Aaron
all
Rodgers,
these things, he falls right into the trap of the Jets. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he'll make the defense better probably, but Justin Fields will probably be injured by week 4. Especially because Matthew Berry and all these fantasy experts keep saying he's going to be the best fantasy quarterback ever. So that pretty much
they don't say that. They just say he's going to be a good fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, but like just nail in the coffin by week
fantasy versus real life.
Yeah. He already got injured in the preseason one time. People thought he was like he didn't get injured that bad, but people were like already worried about it. And their season's just going to go downhill, and they need an actual quarterback. Justin Fields is a great running back.
Yeah.
And he could probably run like maybe a Ravens style offense a little bit where there's a lot of running, a lot of options, stuff like that. Maybe, something like that might be a fitting for him. But if you want to run like a regular NFL offense, you need like an actual real quarterback that can read defenses. So, and also get the Jets out of all the idiot places they put themselves in. It's pretty tough. It's a pretty tough cookie to crack. You know what I mean? So if I'm the Jets, I mean, obviously, I think they only signed him to like a 1 or 2 year contract. Obviously, they're looking for anher quarterback.
It's a
2-year, $40 million.
It's a 2-year, $40 million. But
they're looking, regardless, even if he plays well, they're going to look for another quarterback. To come in because I just don't. I don't think they believe he's the long term answer.
Well,
if they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
This is a funny thing about Fields' contract, guys, is his dead cap is higher than his salary next year. So he's going to be on the Jets.
He'll be
if they cut him, it cost him more money than if they actually keep him. His dead cap's 23. His cap hit next year is 22. So I think that puts the Jets in a good position, though, Doug, to, again, kind of like the Rams, maybe take a guy that isn't ready to start right away or that they can kind of mold, that can sit behind Fields or beat him out for the job if that's what happens. But, like, I think the Jets are desperate for a quarterback, and I think they shouldn't pick in the top 5 quarterback ever again. They shouldn't be allowed. So maybe picking in like the 10s to the 20s might be the spot for them. So yeah, I like that.
So what you're telling me is he's going to get that kid out of he's going to get Lenore Sellers.
I mean, I think that guy would work really well.
Super athlete who can't quite make the reads. He just doesn't quite have the tools. And so he'll be a Justin Fields except slightly taller.
Well, we'll see. I think Lenora Sellers is going to show people either he's that guy or he's not this year. I mean, he just started 1 year so far. I mean, he's absolutely a beast back there. He's kind of like Josh Allen, very big, very powerful, very strong. But I mean, he just hasn't played a ton of football at the college level. So I think this year we'll see if Lenora Sellers is the next guy or if he's the next project. But he's definitely getting drafted based on his skill set alone and his size, like his speed and his size alone. But I think the Jets might work for him. So we'll see. It is the Jets. They ruin every quarterback. So
speaking of ruin, can I poop on Dougie's parade?
Go
for my third pick.
Go ahead. Who you got?
The great sleeper that you had, the Raiders with the number one, blah, 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 blah,
yeah,
blah.
They're going to win 10 Super Bowls in a row.
Yes. They're my third pick for who's going to be drafting a quarterback next year.
Yeah.
And they just traded for Kenny Pickett because they realized they need to have a little bit of depth there. Jacoby Myers requested a trade, which was very, very interesting this close to the start of the season. I really want to know.
He's underpaid. That's the thing, is that he's, for what he produces as level, like he's paid like half of what he's worth. So
dude,
his stats are amazing.
Yeah.
Like we were even looking at him for fantasy. I was like, dang, Jacoby Myers has good stats.
He's
like,
really good, but you know what? He went to the Raiders and demanded a trade, and they were just like, nope, leave the room now. They're like, bye. And they were like, we're not listening.
Well, you're less than 2 weeks away from the kickoff.
Didn't Jacoby come from the Patriots too? And it's like anyone that played or got drafted by the Patriots, you just assume can't play offense.
Yeah.
So I think that might be.
Also his drop rate is insane. I don't think he's dropped a pass in like a year or something.
Yeah, no, dude, he's highly underrated, even by myself, who like thinks I know what I'm talking about. I was looking at his numbers. I was like, wow, this guy.
He's really good.
He produces.
That's why the Raiders are a sleeper.
And that's with garbage quarterbacks last year.
Well, and now he wants out though. He might not be there.
Wait till Jacoby Myers and Geno Smith and Brock Bowers unite together on one team together. Oh wait, they did.
They're gonna make the Triforce of suck. Yes, I agree.
No, but this year Geno Smith has a cap hit of 40 million. Next year it's only going to be 26.
Oh,
and they have $86 million worth of cap space next year. And then in 2027, his cap hit jumps up to $39 million, none of it guaranteed.
Yeah, they did that.
So if they cut him,
but they'll have a Super Bowl underneath them, so it'll be fine either way.
I mean,
that is a very advantageous contract to say, hey, let's draft a quarterback in the first round this year. Hey, if we do good this year, let Geno have the job next year, the year after. Why not? Just give him the $39 million.
Carroll does have a history of doing that. Remember with Russell, Wilson. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I keep saying, I think there's a bunch of quarterbacks in this draft that aren't, other than Arch, right, that aren't any guarantees. Like Lenora Sellers needs work. I think Sam Levitt needs work. I think Nussmeier maybe just has to go to the right program, right? Same thing with Klubnik. Maybe Klubnik is the guy. Maybe he's not. We'll kind of see. So I think this year, and then there's Drew Aller, who I think is massively overrated. So I think he's destined to go to the
Penn
Browns.
State sucks.
Yeah, I think the Browns are destined to draft Drew Aller. I mean, it just makes the most sense to me. But again, I think there's like 4, maybe 5 quarterbacks that are first round talents, but maybe not a top 5 pick talent. Kind of like Cam Ward was last year. I think a lot of people had Cam Ward as like, if Cam Ward was in the draft 2 years ago, he would have been picked like the 4th or 5th quarterback, maybe. Right. Oh, yeah. But that doesn't mean he's not a good player. It's just, he's not that franchise guaranteed, like money in his eyes kind of guy. And I think other than Arch, we have a bunch of those, and there's nothing wrong with that because those guys can be very successful in the NFL, and they just need to be in the right program with the right coach.
That's kind of what Josh Allen was. No one really thought he was going to be anything.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of people that weren't sure what Josh Allen was going to do. Lamar got picked with the 31st pick overall. The Ravens traded into the first to get him, remember? Right? Jordan Love's the 21st overall pick. Brock Purdy's a 7th rounder, right? I mean, not everybody is going to be Matthew Stafford, right? Or Peyton Manning, or whatever.
The Bears passed over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. So, like, I think there's a lot of
drafted Tony Mandrich.
Yeah. Dude, for me,
that was not a quarterback.
For me,
this is true.
Like 95% of quarterbacks that come in the NFL, it's situation. Who's your coach? Who's your franchise, right? There's only a few guys in the history that it didn't matter which team they went to, they were going to be awesome. right? And I don't even include Tom Brady in that, guys. If Tom Brady went to the Browns, you wouldn't even know who he is. Do you know what I'm saying? But guys like Manning, right? Guys like, I'll admit it, Matthew Stafford, even though I don't necessarily think he's a top tier right now, right? There's guys like that exist for sure. But the majority of quarterbacks, it's all about franchise. It's all about coach. It's all about like how they're kind of critiqued and taught how to play NFL football. So yeah, I think a lot of these teams could do really well with these quarterbacks, but which quarterback goes to which franchise, I think, is going to be the ultimate dictator of who does well and who doesn't. So that was a fun one. I like that. Maybe we bring that back mid-season and do those predictions again, right? After we see some records and we see, how Kyler crushes it, Dave. And you change your mind. And you change your mind.
If he makes Marvin a wide receiver one,
he's going to get
I'll be
5,000 yards this year now because you said that, Dave. Thank you.
Yeah. And the Raiders, the future Super Bowl champion Raiders.
Look, I'm just doing this to
2027 Super Bowl champions.
Yeah. We'll see.
Dude, when Brock Bowers breaks the record for receiving yards for any player in all time in one season this season.
I mean, when he finishes second behind Kyle Pitts, but sure, yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts and Brock Bowers, both over 1,800 receiving yards.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts, 187 receptions for 4,000 yards. Sure, let's go. Michael Penix, do your thing. No, that was really fun. I like this episode. I definitely want to take some stuff from it, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Guys, what do you think? Which things should we carry over into the NFL season? What do you think we should carry over?
I think these last two things were good of like trying, because when you're looking at sports, watching games and stuff, things pop in your head thinking like, oh man, this wide receiver is better than I thought. Maybe he could like do this awesome thing this year. Or, you know what I mean? Like these little things pop up in your head where you're like, oh, I never realized this before. So having segments like this where we talk about those things of like, oh my God, we did fantasy football draft and Juwan Jennings might be actually really good. Like who would have thought, right? And what is that even actually possible? Is that real or not? Those are really interesting things to think about. That's what makes sports fun, right? That you really don't know what's going to happen. Everyone can brag and talk trash, whatever you want, but the cream rises to the top. You know what I'm saying? Like Macho Man.
Oh yeah,
the cream rises to the top.
Dude, Macho Man,
Macho Cream.
The little cream. He literally went to craft service and grabbed a coffee and a creamer, and he's like, I'm gonna just put this creamer in my promo.
Anyone who wants to watch a great quote, watch Macho Man on the Arsenio Hall show. It is absolute gold. That's all I'm gonna say. Good night, everybody.